folks. This is the Wet Shavers Roundtable. I'm Douglas Smythe from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements.com and CrownKingShaving.com. Today we are, well, it is episode 41, and we have a very, very special guest with us. But before I get to her, over to my possible right is Scott Ostermiller, the Clean Shaver.
Hey, everybody.
And my other co-host, David Crackley Gonzalez from SoSharpLimited.com.
Dude, so all kinds of crazy things are going on right now. The sound on this damn thing is going from my ears to the computer, from my ears to the computer. I'm going haywire right now.
Well, there you have it, folks. Another beautiful introduction of mine, totally screwed up by David Gonzalez. And last but not least, I'd like to introduce our guest of honor, Gail Wells of Edwin Jagger. Gail has been with Edwin Jagger for about the last 9 years, and she is the U.S. brand manager.
Awesome.
She's kind of like Neil's representative in the colonies, if you will.
And they still think of it that way.
I'm sure they do. So
She's
welcome
the
to the show,
ambassador.
Gail.
Thank you. Yes.
It's so great to have you here. I met Gail last year, the first Big Shave West, and she can party like a rock star, let me tell you.
Well, she's from Texas.
Joking. Yes,
No, it's not really.
But we had a great time last year.
I'll own it.
Yeah. Okay, I respect that.
Yeah.
Dallas. So, Gail, we're just going to start from the top, and we want to know about Gail Wells. How the hell did you get involved in the wet shaving world?
That's a good story. I owned a showroom in the Dallas Market Center, a wholesale showroom, and I sold upscale luxury product. And there was a major department store chain came to me, and they said, we would like for you to help us create a niche upscale shaving environment. So I took the product that I had and made the presentation, and they said, well, that's not really what we're looking for. So I got on the internet and did my research, and I worked with another manufacturer who had been in the industry for 40 years, which is who started me on the path of learning about wet shaving. And that's how I found Edwin Jagger. And so I went to him and I said, this is the best. All the research I've done tells me this is the best, which is what I want. And he said, you're absolutely right. So I made a phone call to the UK, and I told the girl, I said, told her who I was, and I said, I have a multi-door channel of distribution that has about 240 doors that is interested in Edwin Jagger. And I said, who can I speak to? I said, can I speak to someone? Yeah. So she transferred the call. This guy gets on the phone, and I said, a very special way, told him who I was. And I had 240 doors, and I did my pitch. And so we had this conversation. I said, now, and who are you? And there was this big pause, and he said, I am Neil Edwin Jagger. I said, okay. Because I thought I was talking to some like sales guy in the sales department. Yeah. So we ultimately determined that Edwin Jagger is not a department store brand. It's more of a curated brand. Department stores offer a lot of opportunity, but it's not the right match for Edwin Jagger. And there's a lot of back issues that happen when you're working with department stores. So at that time, they were exhibiting, Edwin Jagger was at the International Premium Pipe and Cigar Show in Las Vegas. So
I remember this.
Yep.
This is like 2 years back. Is that?
Well, we exhibited in New Orleans last year. And so I flew, this was in 2008. So,
okay.
Yeah. So I went to Vegas to meet Neil, where he was exhibiting at the show. Right. So that's where I first met him in person. So it was interesting. Yeah. So I kind of went from there. We ultimately, like I said, determined that, department store is not for us. So I closed my showroom in 2010. And actually in 2008, the business started to grow. And I started working with a multi-door chain of grooming centers, which is a fancy word for barber shops. And it started growing. And Neil said, well, why don't you do this full time? And I said, I'm not sure I want to do this full time, because I kind of like to be not the expert in the room, but at least know more than, the people around me who I'm selling to.
Right.
And so actually that's when I.
One second, Gail. Where is that coming from?
What?
A baby? Is there a baby crying?
Sorry, that's mine.
Okay, can you just cover your mic?
Yeah.
Scott, can you just, okay. Go on, Gail. I'm sorry for that.
So I decided to launch at the Dallas Market Center Men's Apparel Show, which I went, okay, I'm doing this full time, and just started to build the business from there. So I work with about 70. There's a chain of, they're called Roosters, and I work there about 70 of those, and multiple retailers across the U.S., from men's apparel shops to upscale grooming centers to standalone barbershops, mom and pop barbershops. So that's what I do. And then I get to come to Big Shave West and have fun with you guys in the industry.
It's true. And other meetups too. We almost met again in where are we? In Austin.
In Austin, yeah.
You bailed on me.
I know. And I thought, he's never going to ask me back again. I was meant to be there as well. And I had car problems that morning. I had my car. I had 100 samples loaded. I had hardware. So it wasn't meant to be.
You were missed. You were missed. But, guys, do you have any questions for Gail? David, Scott?
You got me off guard. Hold on.
No, that's fine. I have plenty of questions. Yeah. But so, Gail, do you yourself use a safety razor?
I do on occasion. I don't use one every time I shave, just because I'm a fast shaver, depending on how much time I have. So I have in the shower at any given time. I have a Mach 3. I have a Fusion. I have a safety razor. I have some of the new ladies' razors. We have a collection of 8. We have a collection of 8 Mach 3 razors featuring 2 different styles of handles. We have a collection of 4 different extra long brushes that match the razors. And then there are 4 safety razors with the pearlized handles on them. And, you know, interestingly, at the Shave West event, and I met David's lovely wife there, because we were talking about ladies' razors.
Everybody met Lucia.
Yeah. And she said, well,
she's like the star of the show. It's like nobody ever mentions that they talk to me.
Well,
so somehow everybody.
David, I'm with you. I think we should get a speaking part this year.
Someone watches our show.
And she asked me, she said, well, can women use these? And I said, well, of course. I said, it's hardware. They don't know if it's a male or female. And I'm finding that women are really becoming more and more involved in the wet shaving. And some ladies are even using straight razors. So, you know, it's a community that's growing exponentially.
Absolutely.
It certainly is. Now, those lady razors, they were introduced, 2 years back now?
The safety razors were introduced about 2 years ago, and the Mach 3 razors were launched in March 1st of this year.
Okay.
Actually, it was February 1st, yeah.
How are the sales going with the ladies' razors?
They're going really well. And then plus I work with a number of barbers, female barbers, that are excited to have razors in pastel colors, which, you know, pastel doesn't necessarily mean ladies, but it's going
it could
really
mean
well.
Easter.
Well, you know what? There was one in my Easter basket.
I bet there was. Was.
Yeah.
I shaved one on Easter just to get into thematic. That's excellent. So are you in all the roosters across the country now, Gail?
Most of them. It's easier for me to say which ones I'm not in.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Right. Yeah, you've connected me with 2 of them. We're still talking, whatnot, but it's always great when I go to a meetup to walk into one of these places too and see your stuff on the shelf. It's like, Gail's been here.
Yeah.
It's a calling card every time. Scott, what you got?
I actually have a question about, you said Roosters?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Is the name of the store? I've actually never heard of Roosters. Where
are you located?
I'm in Utah.
Utah. Okay. I don't think there are any in Utah. It's a franchise chain of grooming centers, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, they all have their own individual flavor, I find, too. Our one guy in Boston who owns one. What was his name, Gail? The guy in Boston?
Tyson White.
Tyson. He has a lot of great big ideas.
Yeah.
Some of them are outside of the rules of Roosters, but I see this guy doing some really cool stuff. I mean, he was offering to host a meetup this coming year, providing drinks and whatnot, free shaves or discounted shaves and whatnot. Really cool, and willing to work with the public as well. So it's kind of a cool place. And some other ones that I've seen are like almost giant barbershops, but like a place to hang out though as well.
Right. And that whole the men's genre of places to quote hang out, as you say, in barbershops, and I work with a lot of tobacconists. And, it's becoming a destination, and the old school barbershop, you guys know this, it's very popular. It's coming back. There are rooms where you can sit, hang out. And when I was little, I went to the barbershop with my dad on Saturday mornings. Yeah.
And then you go to the bar afterwards with dad.
Well, probably not so much. I think we went and paid the electric bill.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I used to have a sarsaparilla after the barbershop with my dad. But,
right. And Edwin Jagger's hardware is really recognized, talking about safety razors, it's really recognized as the iconic brand of safety razors that has launched this kind of whole safety razor, wet shaving.
Revival.
Right. And all the hardware in the line is created, designed, and manufactured by Neil Jagger. And I think Matt and Marissa, who I owe a big thank you to for stepping in at the last minute. One of the things that sets Edwin Jagger apart is that it's the only wet shaving company in the world who creates and manufactures and owns the factory for all of their product. Everything comes out of Sheffield, England.
Right.
That's awesome.
And the history behind Sheffield is really interesting. It is a city recognized historically for the past 200 years. See, David's shaking his head. He knows this. As it's recognized as a cutlery town or a blade town.
Yep.
And so Edwin Jagger's hardware is handcrafted by old world master craftsmen. And a lot of the machinery they use, like, for example, Neil goes to the library and researches the machinery and the tools and the mechanics of the original, creating the original product. And he was trained originally as a silversmith. Right. And we were, past summer, we were at the Pipe and Tobacco Show, IPCPR, in New Orleans. We were exhibiting there, and we went into a shop, a local store that had that offered some antique silver pieces. It was a jewelry store.
Oh yeah.
And it was really interesting. He could pick up a piece and by the markings on the bottom determined where it was made, the factory, and a lot of times you could see the signature of the silversmith who made it.
I love that.
Yeah, it was really interesting. That's awesome. And I know the other thing, Matt mentioned this as well, it's pretty interesting to go into an art of shaving store with Neil Jagger.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. I would love to do anything with Neil Jagger. We had him on the Mustache and Blade podcast a couple of years back, and it was great to hear his voice and hear him just talk.
He's a fun guy. He's a fun guy.
Yeah, he sounds like a fun guy. So Sheffield, England, was he already in Sheffield, or was this move intentional?
No, he is from Sheffield. His family is from Sheffield, and Edwin Jagger is a family-owned business. It's not a huge company. People think it's probably larger than it in reality it is. It's a family-owned and operated business, and they like doing business with other family-owned companies. The dog goes to work with them every day.
Mine does too.
Yeah.
I got the starter kit over here.
Kind of on that note, with them being from Sheffield, England, we have actually a good question from one of the Peanut Gallery, and I kind of have a question also to build on top of that from Nightmare 10151. He's asking will we see razors such as slants, open combs, and so on and so forth, and the collaborations with manufacturers. On top of that, since they are in Sheffield, England, known for cutlery, is there any chance for them to start, maybe perhaps one day, develop a straight razor Soligen Germany has still continued to be a straight razor manufacturing mecca, so to speak, and Sheffield kind of has stopped with that direction. Is there any hopes with the company as successful as Edwin Jagger to maybe revive that part of it?
Actually, there is discussion about that. And the machinery in that, Neil is a perfectionist, if nothing else. He wants to use the same machinery and tooling that was originally created the Sheffield safety razors, and he is researching that. So if and when it comes out, it will be spectacular. And
I will sign up to be a tester on those straight razors.
Okay, all right, we'll put you on the list.
I volunteer.
I see someone else is asking two things. I see, yes, Sheffield, Def Leppard. And that's one of the things I asked Neil the first. I said, do you know the guys from Def Leppard?
He's like, who?
Yeah. You know the guy who, and I'm getting off subject, but it's exciting. The guy who won the Masters is from Sheffield.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes. So anyway, I see a question that says, who is Edwin? So Edwin Jagger was Neil's grandfather. His grandfather's name was Edwin, and so Neil is Neil Edwin Jagger. So he is the Edwin Jagger.
That's awesome.
Okay. Now, is there any relation to Mick Jagger in there?
You know what? I'm glad you asked that. I have a funny story. When I first started representing Edwin Jagger, it's when I had the showroom, and my showroom manager was kind of a more mature woman. And I said, now I'm expecting a call, an international call, a landline call from Neil Jagger. And when it comes, I need for you to come find me. And so I turned around and I'm walking off, and she yells at me. She goes, is that Rick guy's brother? And I said, no. I said, that would be Mick. And no. Yeah.
No. But is there a relation at all?
No, there's not.
Okay. Oh, we lost Scott.
No, I see a question from Peter Nielsen. Is Edwin Jagger still produced in the UK? Absolutely. They are. Neil Edwin Jagger owns the factory. Everything is produced in the factory in Sheffield, England, and ships out of the factory in Sheffield.
And being that it's owned by obviously one family, something that a lot of us love in the wet shaving community nowadays is the way we're able to translate what we want to the artisans, and they actually make adjustments to their formulas or things that they're doing based on suggestions by the community. Is that something that's possible with Edwin Jagger? Or do they have any kind of system set up to where they take advice, suggestions, study groups on improvements on products?
You know what? You can send those kinds of things to, I think at inquiries, ENQUIRIES, at edwinjagger.com. And, or you can post on their Facebook page. I mean, they're always open to suggestion. Absolutely. And I think this is a great forum. The other thing that Edwin Jagger has started doing when you see this, so this is a little like mini brochure that's inserted into every package. So, for example, if you bought a brush, so this is inside, and this is a little mini brochure, if you will.
Yes.
And on the back, it tells you, it's kind of hard to see, but there are the initials of the person who it went through quality control. And then this is really cool. You can see that. You can go online at Edwin Jagger /register and register your product. And it says the product code and was it a gift or did you buy it online? And it asks your birth date. And of course, I actually registered this afternoon. I registered this brush this afternoon, and I knocked off about X number of years off of my age. But anyway, that's another thing you can do. And when you do that, you're signed up to kind of get advance comments, and you can get emails about product introductions, etc. But so yes, David, Edwin Jagger is always interested in new ideas.
Nice. And someone was asking if Rolls-Royce still does the plating for Edwin Jagger?
Edwin Jagger uses the same process to plate their chrome-plated hardware that Rolls-Royce uses. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Very cool. What are some of the other materials used for the razors?
I think somebody had the question early on, and I can't find my notes all of a sudden. It was, and I asked Neil Jagger very specifically back. Give me half a second, okay? Because it was, hold on. I believe it's Zalmac, I believe was the question.
Yes.
And it is, hold on. Basically, it is a, I want to get the, hold on, give me half a second here because I want to get this right. I just didn't have
no problem.
Zalmac is a, it's an acronym.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not finding it just off but basically it is what's used for the base of the head of the razor, and they use it because it is, you know, Edwin Jagger sources every product and they use only the best, and because chrome, it adheres to it really well.
Okay. It also keeps it affordable as well, I would imagine.
And it's not so much even that, but it's just the best manufacturing product.
Very cool.
And I have a question kind of on that. One comment that I made last week when we were bringing up Edwin Jagger razors was I think that their fit and finish is superior to those of like the Merkur razors. Is there a particular process they do, without obviously revealing any important secrets of the company, that you'd be able to tell us that it helps with that precision and just that fine detail and just the great finish of them?
You hit the nail on the head. It's secret.
Come on, Gail.
And I will tell you that, you know, Neil is very, he keeps everything pretty tight-fisted relative to proprietary manufacturing and product introduction. A lot of times I don't know it until I get the sell sheet on it.
Right.
Okay.
So what else do we have? What else do we have to look forward to this coming year with Edwin Jagger? Anything new coming out?
Well, again, you'll probably know about 30 minutes after I do.
God.
Yeah.
Now, what do we have to? The Big Shave West is coming. You will be attending. That's why you're on the show, because you're part of our vendor spotlight. Are there going to be any surprises there? You're going to be rolling out for us, Gail? Anything?
No, I don't have any surprises there. Everything is out.
Gail herself.
I'll be giving away testers, shopping bags, mini brochures. We'll probably have 20. Well, I think we're gonna have 250 bags for testers this year.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so everybody will get 2 testers, and each one of those testers will include a shave cream and an aftershave. And you know, Edwin Jagger is also, again, one of the only companies in the world that's a full service manufacturer, if you will, because they not only manufacture hardware, brushes, which are synthetic, best, super, silver tip, and pure. They manufacture shave bowls, and in the skincare, all their skincare products are paraben free. They're processed from organically grown plants. So there's a pre-shave, an aftershave, a shave cream in a tube, shave cream in a tub, and a soap puck. And somebody, was it, Scott's gone right now at the moment, it looks like. But anyway, he was talking about traveling with his razor And some people said, you know, how do you travel with it? Edwin Jagger has some travel sets that have abbreviated handles on them. So, for example, this would be a full-size razor. So they have abbreviated handles. And people ask me, well, how do you travel with your safety razor? The answer is you can't travel with blades. I think there was some discussion about that. And I have actually gone through security with blades in my razors and have forgotten about it, and with packs of blades that just, they missed it. So, yeah, they're one of the only companies in the world that manufacture all their product.
And that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and something that Matt Pisarcik touched on last week that I guess Edwin Jagger and Mula, I guess that's how you say it, I'm not even entirely sure, have kind of a close relationship, and they kind of work hand in hand on certain things. I'm sorry?
Actually, that was pretty old, and I think that was more of a kind of a collaboration with a colleague, and that happened really before I came on board. So I really can't comment to that, but you know, for many years now, Neil is he is the designer of the iconic hardware, and everything's made in Sheffield.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's very cool.
You know, and the great thing about Edwin Jagger is they're accessible. You know, I have a point person that I spend probably the first 3 hours of my day speaking to via email, and I start my day between 6 and 7 a.m. and I work with them live for about 3 hours. And Neil is accessible, and certainly don't speak to him that often, but you know, he's around. He's in the factory every day. I'm looking over here if we see if we have any questions.
That's so cool. I love the hands-on management kind of
right.
style.
He's definitely hands-on.
That's awesome.
I mean, cool. he signs off on, you know, everything I do. And I don't just randomly, and we decide what events we're going to participate in, and sometimes it depends on my schedule. And so, yeah, he's totally hands-on.
And is it one of those situations that is it possible for him to be coming to one of our shaving events sometime in the future? Is that something that he has voiced any interest in?
You know what? It's not so much whether he's interested or not. That's not it. It's his schedule. He travels quite a bit and for business, and he's got trade shows that they do in the UK and Spain. So, you know, he's doing the same thing over there. Then he comes here for trade shows.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see Neil more than once or twice a year.
And in terms of your and in terms of your job, do you spend a lot of time perhaps making cold calls, or is a lot of your job really bouncing around the country all year?
No, I travel some. I don't travel constantly by any stretch of the imagination. And you know what? I'm kind of an old dog sales rep. I like making cold calls. I was in Vegas last week, and I was working with the apothecary at the Palazzo, which is a great customer, and I was working with their master barber and training their sales team. And I opened a new tobacconist there, and I made some cold calls while I was there, and now hopefully we'll be going into one of the major hotels.
Gail, you were in Vegas last week. I was in Vegas last week. What?
No, I think you. When did you? I know the concert was what, Saturday?
Yeah, the concert was Saturday. Yeah, I was there all weekend though.
I didn't come in until Tuesday.
Okay.
Right.
I would have met you at the blackjack table.
Yeah, it was a short trip for me, and I was I had myself booked really tight, and I thought, oh, I didn't plan this very well. No, I worked the whole time I was there. I hate that. Yeah.
That's great. In fact, I'd like to bring up something really quick.
If you're going to work.
You know, for folks attending Vegas or the Big Shave West, if you're going to hang out with Douglas Smythe, there are a few things that you need to keep in not your dot bag, but maybe in your sod bag. And this is what I learned in my time in Vegas last weekend. This stuff, it's not for shaving, but it's called rescue water. This will cure a hangover. That's right. You have a little half before you drink and half before you go to bed. Awesome stuff. So this is in my Bible.
Will you be bringing a case of that for us?
I will be. I'm looking for hangover formula. This stuff can be found at any health food store. It's loaded with everything you need. Pain reliever. I take 2 of these too. I highly recommend it. And lastly,
all I'm getting from this segment right now, Douglas, is you're an absolute alcoholic. That's the
no, not at all. I can stop
I'm getting from this right now.
I can stop any time. I'm just giving some tips that I found work for me. And when it comes to antacids, I don't like to really take them because they're loaded with aluminum. What I do instead is those chewable calcium tablets. Those work just as well as any antacid. So I highly recommend you keep these on your bedstand too while you're staying in Pasadena if you've been out with me.
Who knew?
Yeah. Another thing I'd like to say, or feature rather, is this is Nathan Clark's official Big Shave West. See that brush? That will be
cool.
Well, there's pre-sale happening right now for it, folks. It's 25 millimeter. I believe it's Best Badger. Do you know anything about this brush, David?
That actually, are you sure it's Best Badger? Because it actually looks like the Envy White Knot.
Oh, is it?
It actually looks like which if it is the Envy White Knot, that's his signature knot. It's kind of a mix. It's his premium 2-band Badger brush, probably comparable to some High Mountain White, or even maybe like a Theta 2-band. But it is the absolute last word in terms of backbone, and it's a great all around brush. If you're looking for a brush that has a lot of splay, or a lot of bloom after it gets wet, this is not going to be a knot. That's not going to be your style knot. This actually holds form. And it's just solid. That's punchy. A workhorse of a brush. It's a very workhorse of a brush, but it doesn't feel overly scrubby. Usually with a brush that has that much backbone, you could run into that issue where it feels very harsh and even possibly cause irritation. These tips are treated in a way that they're just absolutely fantastic. Absolutely no scritch. I love his NV White Knot. He did a hell of a job sourcing that knot.
Definitely did, and you are correct. This is an NV White Premium Badger hair knot. This brush weighs 3.6 ounces. This is the chalice shape. His new shape he's going for. It's aluminum. The loft is 52 millimeters. Color is gunmetal, and it's aircraft grade aluminum with premium Badger hair. So yeah, this is going to be the official Big Shave West brush. And if you notice, it matches the official Big Shave West soap. That's right, folks. Also available.
You're so clever that way.
At the Big Shave West soap. We try to keep it thematic.
It's like it was planned.
Yeah. We just, he's in my head. He's in my head. But yeah, so I just want to get that because a lot of people want to see this close up and personal. Now, what you will notice here is this little scoring right there, this decorative scoring. That won't be on the final brushes. It was way too labor intensive. But looking forward to trying this out tonight. I just got it today. So, folks, that's something.
Yeah. Also, bring that with you when you come over here so I could try that out before the Big Shave West.
No. We'll see, David. We'll see. You still have my Bakelite.
Yes, I have it.
Yes, Gail?
There's a question that says, if you're coming to the Big Shave West, why would you pick an Edwin Jagger over one of those other brands? Well, you know what? You're asking the wrong person. I would never recommend you know what? The great thing about Edwin Jagger, it's not a real aggressive razor, and the price point is extremely reasonable, very reasonable. Yeah. And the other thing is every single razor purchased from Edwin Jagger, whether it's a safety razor or a Mach 3 or a Fusion, it comes shave ready. So with a safety razor, you get a pack. Look what I happen to have here.
Feathers.
A pack of feather blades for free in the box. Yeah. So, and Edwin Jagger is the only company in the world who has partnered with Feather. And the only company, they're the only company in the world that has partnered with Feather, and you get a package of feather blades when you buy an Edwin Jagger razor.
Very true.
And just in general, speaking from what I've seen, in terms of price point, usually you could get a Merkur for cheaper than a Edwin Jagger, and you get a Mula more expensive than an Edwin Jagger. So when you get an Edwin Jagger, the price point is going to be in the middle of the most common ones. But I think where they separate themselves from those is the fit and finish. It's going to be cheaper than a Mula, but then also it's going to look a hell of a lot better than a Merkur. Merkur look a little wonky to me. That's just my opinion. Some people like their classic, more, I guess, industrial look to them. For me, the Edwin Jaggers are a little bit more of an heirloom piece. They look like something that you could be proud of for years to come to hand down, and it's just an attractive piece of equipment as opposed to some of the other
clean up better
options
too.
Yeah,
they tend to clean up better, and they keep their shine, their polish a lot better than a lot of other entry-level razors do too. And
now, Gail, that head shape, it's been borrowed by a lot of other manufacturers. We've all noticed over the years.
Right.
Has there been any legal action at all during any of this, or?
Well, let's just say there's discussion.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be appropriate for me to comment on that. And again, that's one of those business issues that I'm not involved in, and it wouldn't be appropriate for me to.
Right.
But I think there was there's some conversation about it last week. But it's frustrating, as you can imagine. But then again, when you are the best, I've seen this having been in the wholesale industry for 20 plus years.
Yes.
It's inevitable. When you produce a great product, someone will knock it off and reduce the quality. But in my opinion, and I'm speaking as, just my personal opinion, not in relation to Edwin Jagger, that when anyone, be it an individual or a national manufacturer, whoever knocks off a product, it's because they're not capable of creating something fabulous on their own.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's true, and this happens a lot in Asia and one in China.
Right.
At South by Southwest, I was there a month ago, and there was one display about saving the American inventor. And it was about patents being stolen by manufacturers over in China. This happens every day, all the time. And they're passing out hats and stuff like that. And the funny thing is, the hats they're passing out and the tags, I was like, so where were those made? China.
Right. Yeah.
But you get the point.
And the one thing that I think is great about Neil, and I feel the same way too, and I have always felt this way. I had a team of sales reps that were multi-state groups, but I said, you know what? There's room for everybody in the business. Without Coke, without Pepsi, there wouldn't be Coke, and vice versa.
I didn't know where you were going with that for a second.
Yeah. Well, no, there is room for competition, and it's a good thing.
Yep.
But there are quality brands out there that produce quality products, and I would never say, oh, don't buy so and so. But I think that when there are manufacturers that are good quality manufacturers, regardless of that are producing original designs, that should be respected.
I agree.
Yeah.
So people in the peanut gallery, please send us your questions. Oh, you have been apparently. My computer's a little wonky and a little slow right now, so forgive me. But
I think that all of ours. I think because Stephen Davidson hasn't stopped giving thumbs up to Gail over here, and every time I see his face pop up, it makes my whole computer run slow. So I think from that trigger finger of Stephen Davidson over here is making everybody go a little crazy.
Gail, I think you've reached a new record here when it comes to.
I think she has set a.
Yeah, wow. Yeah.
Yay!
Stanford above the tie, I think, was our winner for a while, but I think you actually,
I think she surpassed
that. Okay, so let's see some.
You know
of these
what?
questions.
And I watched most of the show with Stan this morning, and it was really funny. I met Stan when he first started in the industry. He was buying Edwin Jagger products for me, and he says, well, I'm making this safety razor. What do you think about this? And I said, well, send me one. I'll take a look at it. And he didn't know. And this is a great thing about Stan. He manufactured this product and from scratch, and he designed it. And it's made here in the States. And I said, this is what you have to do. This is how you market the brand. You've got to get the website. And I kind of walked him through that process. And, having been in this industry for a long time, not necessarily wet shaving, but in sales for a long time, I'm like, you know what? We're all here to help.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's some guy making it in his garage. But as long as you're trying to come up with some original ideas, hey, it's great.
Yeah,
I'm real happy for Stan. He puts a good product together.
He does. High quality. I really I can't wait to see him at the Big Shave West. It's going to be great.
Really,
and he's going to be part of our panel discussion as well at the Big Shave West. So we're going to be we're going to be sitting down with Stan yet again to pick his brain and to hear what he has to say. Okay, questions from the gallery. What do we got over here? Oh, there was one about an open comb. Anything in the future,
yes.
Gail?
Well, not that I know of, and if it was, I wouldn't know anyway. So.
Right. You get that, folks?
She's not R&D.
Yeah.
Brand manager. There's a difference.
Yeah.
How is everyone going to be driving? So text, listening. Okay.
Let's see.
How many?
Leading up to the Big Shave West, Gail, what's one thing you're looking forward to doing while you're here in California?
Partying.
It's called rescue water. Live it, love it, drink it.
I tell you, to be honest, what I really love and that was great about that event, because I primarily focus on retailers and, like I said, retailers and barbers and tobacconists, and I primarily interact on a daily basis with business owners. It's not that often that I get to interact with the end user.
Yes, that's true.
Right. So it's a lot of fun. Last year when I was there, it started at 11. I literally did not stop speaking until like 4:30. I did not stop speaking. And, and this is a crazy thing, but, California was in the middle of that huge drought, and I was standing in front of my display was in front of a window, and it started raining. And everyone is freaking out. It's on the national news. It's raining. I never noticed. I never even saw. Yeah.
No, you didn't, because I was looking out the window.
Yeah,
when you saw me bowing, it wasn't to Edwin Jagger necessarily. It was.
It was me.
I know.
I
am
the center of the universe. But you know what? And in the world that we all inhabit, we know about safety razors and what they are. One of the things that I find when I do work with the end user is I'll never forget the first time I did a retail event, and it was with a men's apparel market. A men's retail apparel store. Their target market was that between 20 and 30-year-old guy, and he's wearing bands and skateboards and stuff. And they walked, and guys, they would look at the safety razor and say, "What is it?" I'm like, I don't know what you mean. What is it? Yeah. And I work with guys who, you have to understand that we live in this world, so we see it all the time, and you understand the value of a brush that lifts the hair in preparation for shaving and exfoliates. And someone's never used one, so this is another great example. Edwin Jagger, I work the Barrett Jackson show, which is a big luxury auto auction in Scottsdale. And I work with the Perfume Shop, which is one of our retailers that's based there. And I had guys come by that didn't know what a brush was for.
Yeah.
And they said, well, my grandfather used one of these, but I don't really know what to do. And they're a little bit intimidated by it because they don't know what to do. And they'll see a bowl, but they don't know how the whole bowl and brush and the soap go together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
And I had a young guy, he was probably in 25 or 30. I gave him a tester, and the next day he came back and he looked at me and he said, you changed my life. And I said, I don't know what I did. And he said, no one had ever taught him how to shave. And so he just shaved in the shower with soap.
Yeah.
And he said, I just didn't know there was an option.
Yeah. No, you see that a lot. You see people giving you that as advice sometimes, like, just use soap. It's like, no. God. No, that's good. No, it is. It is great to meet the end user, and it's great to meet the noobs as well, because we're very close to this. We often forget what it's like, and it's refreshing to see. It's also exciting. It excites me because I know they're about to tumble down the rabbit hole that I've been tumbling down endlessly for years. Yeah. But love to hear them.
There is no way out.
Yeah, there's no way. There's only Zool. Here we go. We got a Mantic. Mantic is asking, or rather, he asked. I just lost it. Is there anything us end users can do to encourage business to carry traditional wet shaving products like Edwin Jagger?
I think you have to ask for them.
Yeah, request them.
Yeah, you have to ask for them because a lot of, a great example is this tobacconist that I worked with this past week in Las Vegas.
Yes.
One of the guys that I was working with, it's hard for me even to verbalize this, but he was using a can from the grocery store, and he just glazed over. He had no idea what I was talking about. But his colleague comes in, and when I emailed him the catalog. He sends it to his colleague, and his colleague grew up in Europe. And he said, "Oh my gosh, we have to have this stuff. It's fabulous." And so when his colleague joined in the conversation, and he just said, "Oh yeah, this is fabulous. This is the best. We have to get this. This is our target market."
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And there is I see Mantic is saying, we have to educate. Can we educate people? And it's a learning curve. There's no question about it.
Yep.
And Mantic, you're already educating people. I don't know if half of us would be sitting in our chairs right now talking about this if it wasn't for you. So, salud.
True. Very true.
I will say one thing about this Big Shave West that I'm a little bummed out about is that Mantic will not be attending.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were all looking forward to that. Yeah, I'm sorry, Mantic. But we will see you at next year's event. So
just think the more adult beverages for you.
That's true. That's true. And the more rescue water to consume. You'd think that I bought stock in this company. Sure, I didn't. But I'm telling you, this stuff is
are they paying you?
No, I'm just a believer, man. I paid like $7 for a bottle of this. I was in Vegas though, and I was a little skeptical, but the stuff really works.
I think all it is like Gatorade with less sugar.
No. This stuff is it's intense.
That's what I thought too.
There's even prickly pear cactus in this. Ooh. It's good stuff. So what else we got? Yeah, see, now they're asking me what's in it. I can't tell you what's in it, folks, but I will. There's vitamin C, thiamine, vitamin B6, phosphorus, sodium, of course, potassium, and then there's a proprietary blend of stuff that's proprietary, so I can't tell you what that is. Monopotassium phosphate, organic prickly pear cactus, other things I can't pronounce, and milk thistle, which is for liver. It works. It works. I'm telling you.
And if you bought it in Vegas, you paid too much.
I did, exactly. I was like, gee, I don't know if I can, because I was thinking, I'm going to save the bottle, go home and order it online, but $7 a bottle. No. Those are Vegas prices. Those are gringo prices.
Yeah.
What else we got here? Okay, keep those questions coming, folks. We have probably about 6 minutes left of the show. And again, I think we're all exhausted and excited about the Big Shave West. Gail is our last official vendor spotlight before the Big Shave West. That said, we're all going to be at the Big Shave next weekend, so we won't be doing a show online. Shows will be happening live there, and they'll be filmed, recorded, and up after the fact. But so there won't be. I'm sorry to inform you now, folks, but there won't be one online next weekend because we're all going to be there.
You were asking about what am I looking forward to. The other thing about Damon, the owner of Old Town Shaving, where the Big Shave West is, there are multiple retail outlets within the location, and Damon is such an incredible gentleman, and he's obviously very enthusiastic. He's a great host, and the location, if you've not been there, if some of you guys and girls who are coming, the physical location of the store and the store itself is absolutely spectacular.
Parking.
It is it's in a beautiful historic building in downtown Pasadena, California. I had never been there until last year, and I stayed over on Sunday and just spent the day walking downtown. I went back over to Old Town Shaving and visited with the staff, and Roberta is incredible. She's incredibly knowledgeable. The lady works.
Roberta's awesome.
Yeah. So there's a lot to do.
Fantastic. I love her.
And like I said, there are beverages, and last year they were cooking out and there was a band. So it's not just shaving. There's a lot of fun, enthusiastic folks there.
It's very, very true. Yeah. So if you're thinking of bringing your significant other and feeling a little apprehensive about it, know that there are shops and shopping areas all around and within Old Town. And when I say parking, that is a big deal down in downtown Pasadena. There is no parking, but Old Town has parking, so you can park right there too.
Yeah.
And we will be going out after the fact too. We still have to pick the location for the after party, but it's just going to be epic. There's going to be, well, I might as well read it off while we're here doing this. One last time, folks. In attendance for artisans and vendors, we have Mickey Lee Soaps, Above the Tie, Nathan Clark, Colonel Conk, Da Vinci Brushes, Edwin Jagger, say hi, Feather Blades, Jeeves of Hudson, Layrite Pomade, Local Gent Shave Co., LA Shaving Company, Nate Straits, that's Nathan Zawada, Obsessive Soap Perfectionist, Razor Emporium, So Sharp Limited, say hi, David, St. James of London, Tiki Bar Soap, Wet Shaving Products, Zen Shaves, The Shaving Shop, The Stray Whisker, Blades Grim. Luke Webster of Blades Grims will be there. Then we have the panels happening. So we're doing 3 live roundtables. We're taking it to the road, taking it to the street, our little show that we've been doing for the last year now. And so it'll be our first live setting of a large panel, a rather large panel of, let's see, we got Khan, we got Luke Webster, we got Nathan Clark, we got Leonard Ibarra, we got Ryan Stephen Green moderating. We got Gareth from Rockwell Razors, Matt Starsick, we got Scott, and I'm sure I'm forgetting someone right now, and I can't remember who it is, but it's just going to be awesome. We're going to be filming all of the Big Shave West, working on the documentary. For those of you who watched last week's show, you already know this. We're looking at a half-an-hour documentary at this point. For the roundtable, we're going to cover a little bit of those inside the documentary, but for the most part, they'll be their own independent videos after the fact to be found on YouTube. Then there's the swag bag. We've sold about 120 swag bags right now.
Wow.
So if you're into, if you want to pick one up, it's free. But a swag bag is $49. It comes with a T-shirt, the soap, samples. You get lunch tickets, drink tickets, so on and so forth. There's going to be craft beer there. There's going to be raffles. There's going to be giveaways. There's going to be free straight razor shapes. There's going to be at Razor Emporium's table, they're going to be doing tune-ups for your vintage razor. You'll bring one of your favorite vintage razors to get tuned up for free. And then there'll be Nathan Clark, who'll be turning handles as a demo, and also, oddly enough, giving lather lessons. So go Nathan, he's man about town. And I think that's...
did you talk about the Dropbox for videos?
Thanks for bringing that up. Okay, Gail, you can clearly, she just recently saw this episode. What we're trying to do is crowdsource. Yeah, no, it's a good question. As for the documentary, it's going to be a little bit different than last year's documentary. We're trying to tell the story, and we're asking for help telling the story. It's going to be more objective in that regard. So we're crowdsourcing for a lot of the footage in the documentary. So we're encouraging attendees to film stuff on their cameras, on their phones, and then shoot it direct after the fact to, let's see, bigshavefootage.com. It's a Dropbox, and that's where you can leave it for us to mill through, and hopefully it'll be added to the documentary. And so, yeah, it's crowd participation all the way. I encourage people to Periscope as well, for those who know what I'm talking about. For those who don't, it'll probably just end up looking really confusing. But it's just it's going to be all out. Take as many photos as you possibly can. There's going to be backdrops and so on and so forth. There's a lot of wacky stuff going on, and it's going to be bigger than last year. And I might have just peed myself a little. That's how excited I am about the Big Shave West. We're so close.
You know what? There's someone asking if you can still get tickets. Yes, you can still get tickets, and those are for the swag bags. But the event itself is free.
Yeah, right. It's free.
Yeah, you can attend for free.
It's free admission, and it's free for vendors, free for artisans. So if you're watching right now and you're an up-and-coming artisan, look forward to next year's, because it's a free event for you to participate in. What else we got? A little. Okay. Well, we are winding down, folks. If there's any more last-minute questions, did I miss any, guys?
And Edwin Jagger's giving away 2 gift sets too.
Woohoo!
Are you raffling them off? Is that what's going on?
You know what? I'm not sure what Damon has decided to do with that. So it'll be a straight razor. I'm sorry, a safety razor and a shaving in the gift set.
Very cool. You can use my spinning wheel this year if you want to, Gail.
Oh,
remember that from last year?
Yeah, that's right.
That was a big hit. Okay. Well, folks, it's now 4 p.m. Well, here in Arizona, anyways. Where you are, it's probably 7 or 5. Thank you for joining us for yet another killer episode of the Wet Shavers Roundtable. This is episode 41. We'll see you again next week, episode 42. And I just want to give a big shout out to Edwin Jagger. Neil, if you're watching, salud. Thank you so much, Gail, for being with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
Hey, what's a good place for people to find a little bit more about Edwin Jagger, Gail?
Just edwinjagger.com. It's
Excellent.
easy.
Awesome.
Yep.
Edwinjagger.com.
It's a great website, too.
Yeah, I need to check it out more. It's been a little while. It's been a hot minute, as they say. So This is Douglas Smythe from PhoenixArtisanAccoutrements.com. We got Scott Ostermiller, thecleanshaver.com. And we have David Gonzalez from SoSharpLimited.com. Thank you for joining us, folks, and we will see you next week. No, I lied. We'll see you in 2 weeks, episode 42.
Right.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Ciao, everyone.